Sorry.
I almost
But
said Mark again.
you were just a little late because you had to wait for everything to actually follow through.
Well,
Um,
dang.
but on that note, welcome everybody to the Toku Portal podcast for Kaitou Sentai LupinRanger versus Keisatsu Sentai PatoRanger. I am Bashy V, and I am joined with.
Did it indicate?
The Little King.
And Rye.
And today we're talking about episode 15. So we start off with the narrator recap because it's a two-parter. Then at the hospital, Keiichiro is still unconscious and is rushed to emergency care. The other two are pretty beat up as well. At Cafe Jureur, Kairi almost sneaks out before Umika stops him, trying to slack off work as usual. But Director Hilltop arrives at the cafe and introduces himself. He's here to pick up some macaroons for his hospitalized officers. He invites Umika to visit Sakuya, but she declines. After Hilltop leaves, they kind of have a huddle in the middle of the cafe. Umika agrees to visit Tsukasa and demands that Kairi come along. And then we get the opening. Thoughts?
One of the greatest things about the PatoRangers, in my opinion, is hands down Hilltop. And I love that he's so nice and considerate, and he knows about Umika. I love that. And of course, Kairi sneaking off and Umika dragging him. Fitting. So, good on them. All in all, anytime I see Hilltop, I'm a happy camper.
Hilltop is just a great, charismatic character. Also, here's a thought. Hilltop knows that they're the LupinRangers and is just pretending not to because they only attack ganglers. Like, I'm pretty sure he only went here to let them know what happened to his team. Sure, they probably did talk about the restaurant a bit because they go there for lunch like every week. But did he really know that they were selling macaroons there that he could buy as a get-well gift? Probably, but still.
Like, this is one of those scenes that's amazing at possibly foreshadowing shit in terms of story elements. Because, like I said, as far as we know of, there hasn't been much interaction with the PatoRangers explaining Cafe Jour beyond the one episode where Tsukasa thought that they were the LupinRangers. So, in theory, Hilltop knowing would really be the only logical explanation that, for the evidence we have, for why he would be there. Let's face it, that restaurant can't be the only place to get macarons.
Oh, and you just remind me of another point of mine. He very casually recognizes their faces and names after only seeing them during the one time where they were under investigation. Like, knowing Umika, sure, she's the one female worker there that Sakuya talks about all the time. Knowing Kairi as soon as he walked through the door?
Right, because, like, and on that one, really, the only person who's had interactions with Kairi on a remotely personal level was Kei-chan. What are the odds that he said something to Hilltop about it? It's one of those why would you kind of things. Like, it's a great setup for him being either somehow in, like Rai said, knowing that they are the LupinRangers, or having way more information that than he should. Either that or he has one hell of a fantastic memory. This is like, I like the Hilltop heavy scenes because I love his character. He's very comedic while being serious, and the fact that he goes from Japanese to English like seamlessly, it's amazing and it's just fun to watch.
True. So when we come back, it's number 15, a police officer's job. Hilltop and Jim arrive at Sakuya and Tsukasa's room in the hospital. He gives them their macaroons, and Jim says that they'll be discharged next week. But Keiichiro is still in critical condition due to the gangler poison. Tsukasa has some harsh words for Keiichiro despite the fact that he saved the day. Not to be mean, she just obviously cares about him a lot. Togeno begs Destra for a second chance. Destra agrees to trade info about Crane and Drill for a collection piece that he has. Yeah, thoughts?
It's always nice to see genuine character interactions, whether they're allies or enemies. And Tsukasa and Kei-chan, I do like seeing them interact in particular, not because of any shipping reasons, but because I honestly like the relationship they have. Business, but the fact that they know each other's quirks and mix that into their partnership, I think works really well. And seeing this, despite the fact that obviously Keiichiro is a little hindered at the moment, I still really like to see it. And hey, any villain moment is a good villain moment as long as they make it relevant.
Okay, so here's another thought. Sakuya, or actually, wait, yeah, Umika is accidentally dating Sakuya now. We got that part right. Whatever. I love Tsukasa talking to Kairi about Keiichiro and just saying like what kind of guy he is. Because you can see on Kairi's face as he like starts to understand him better. Like, oh man, this guy's actually a bit more than I give him credit for.
We haven't gotten that far, right?
Oh, we haven't?
No.
Oh.
We just got to that little chat that they're having before the thieves arrive.
Oh. Shit, I got confused. Sorry. Well, interesting note. Destra pulls that collection piece out of one of his own safes. So, was it a personal piece, or was it just like a spare he had? Maybe just a spare he had.
Like, seeing Hilltop basically touching scene on that, and in terms of the gangler, it was nice to see that whole, you're in bad with the boss, but I'm gonna help you out a little bit. It shows that Destra has his own plans and, you know, machinations involved in all of this.
Oh, and now he pretty much has permission from Dogranio to do it, because Dogranio said, I don't care.
True that. Okay, so now Umika and Kairi arrive at the hospital. Kairi immediately sneaks off. Umika bumps into Sakuya, who is about to leave, and of course he thinks that the flowers she brought are for him. However, he asks her to keep it a secret from Tsukasa, because obviously he shouldn't be leaving the hospital a week early. And she decides to follow him. Kairi passes Keiichiro's room, and Tsukasa is there as well, and tells Kairi of the situation. Kairi can't believe that Keiichiro would push himself so far for a job. Tsukasa understands that it's to protect everyone, but she wishes that Keiichiro would protect himself as part of everyone. Pretty deep scene. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I feel like lesson, not just for Keiichiro, who obviously is the hot-headed one who charges straight in, and he always has a good heart, yes, but sometimes he leaves his head behind, I will admit. But this is a good lesson in general. Like, don't devalue yourself. When you value others' safety, don't devalue your own success. That's a lesson I don't think most, well, shows in general, honestly, show that kind of moral lesson towards people. Like, I don't really know how else to describe that, but it is very refreshing to see that. And again, this is a kids show, especially good on them for that.
Okay, so this is what I was starting to talk about earlier. So I'm pretty sure that Umika is accidentally dating Sakuya now. We'll see how that goes. And then, as I was saying, it was really nice to see Kaira's reaction as Tsukasa is talking about Keiichiro, as he starts to understand him better. And you get a feel for like how well like the Power Rangers really know each other, just how they react to each other. Tsukasa really cares for Keiichiro as a teammate.
Like, this scene was amazing to me. It's like I enjoyed seeing Sakuya actually take the role of, basically, the guy who's going to go out and make sure everybody feels better. You know, to basically point out to the kid, we've got this. It didn't work out exactly right, but we've got this. And like it shows just a bit more depth to his character of how he views Keiichiro, the fact that he felt he had to go back and explain to the kid that this is still, a thing, even though, granted, that was after, midway through the conversation that, yes, the Gangler is still alive and rampaging, but for him to go back and reassure the kid was fantastic. And yes, I firmly agree that Umika is basically now dating Sakuya by force/accident.
Okay, so let's see. Sakuya tells the preschool teacher that the strange sound at Mount Tokiyori has been silenced. Sota, the young boy from last episode, is still worried about the Gangler, but Sakuya reminds him that the police will handle it. It's their job. Togeno begins sniping civilians with poison needles using the collection piece he got. Toma happened to be on the scene buying groceries. He Kaito changes and fires back, but is unable to close the distance. Sakuya hears the news, but before he heads to the scene, Sota tells him to leave it to the thieves. However, Sakuya smiles and tells him that he can't stand by as a police officer. And I didn't really notice this the first time, but watching it the second time, Umika seems kind of impressed with that resolve. Thoughts?
I honestly think they're listening to us now because it kind of seems a bit clearer that they're not trying to hide. They're shipping these two. I'm just saying.
How long in advance do you think these episodes were recorded, King?
Well, I know the scheduling over there, like the way they do episodes is really, really, really freaking fast. I'm not even kidding. Like they film episodes months in advance. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they had pre-planned that. And good moment for Sakuya. Glad I'm not the only one to notice the Umika thing. Thank you, Decade. And yay, more thief action. Always happy for that.
I totally agree that Umika looked impressed. Like, which just solidifies my theory that she's accidentally started dating him now. Also, Sakuya is great. he hadn't gotten much attention beforehand, but now that they're starting to give him more, like, it is amazing. He is actually, like, a very genuine character.
Right, because, I mean, we've been getting more of, like, his background over everybody else. Because we've gotten his whole, why did you join the, this squad and all that. So we saw depth to his character there. It's like, and seeing that built upon for this episode was amazing. Because, like Ryan said, it makes him feel genuine.
When the show started, like, the most we got from him was, oh, he's the rookie that is still very inexperienced, because they were still establishing the characters. But now that we're actually, like, getting into the meat of it, Sakuya is probably the best character on the show.
I'd say second to Kyrie at the moment. But he's climbing up fast. And I just, Umika looking impressed was a nice touch too, because it's a small shift to her character from it being, oh god, I have to go do this, because because that's basically what it's been, is like she's been using him for information and all that, is like, and she's now seeing him as a person and who he really is, rather than he's just somebody I have to use to.
He's a cop that has a crush on me and I don't want him.
Right. She's starting to realize, hey, he's not that bad of a guy. So I can see them building upon that till, the end of the series where they're dating. Maybe it'll be another Sen issue.
Maybe in the prequel movie they'll be dating. We'll see. Let's see. Oh yeah. Sakuya arrives at the station to suit up, but Tsukasa is already doing the same. She decides to tackle the Ganglar using wit this time, considering their injuries. Kairi and Umika arrive at the scene as well. Kaitou change and rush in. Lupin Red Knight closes in on Togeno and opens the safe, but is stabbed through the hand by a poison needle. Pretty shocking moment as he pulls the collection piece out of the safe. His transformation ends. Togeno is determined to redeem himself by defeating both Sentai, not just the police. Sakuya and Tsukasa arrive and Keisatsu change. Yeah, what do you guys think so far?
First of all, if you hear the dog in the background, I'm sorry. It's mine.
We do hear a dog.
Ugh.
Doggo.
I'm sorry about that, but I love the fight scene with Tolma. That was so freaking cool. Oh my god, I'm sorry, my dog will not shut up. But I actually don't have much else to say about that. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little distracted right now, but I enjoyed this.
The Lupin Rangers were really good in this scene. Tuma's like quick reaction to the Ganglars, like more ranged sniping, and then the Ganglar falling for Umika's clear like, hey, look at me bait, while Kairi gets the sneak on him and pulls out a shield. Yeah, that shotgun of his isn't going to do much against that. Also, I love that when Sakuya shows up at the office and Tsukasa's already there, she tells him you're late. Like, she would have been more surprised if he didn't show up.
Right, that was a nice touch. The fact that they both had this, and she knew that he had this. it's consistency like this that I'm enjoying. What was that?
You cut out a little bit there, but I think we got the gist of it.
Um, and like the whole Pat Ranger scene was, or Lupin Ranger scene was well done too. Seeing Tuma figure out what he needed to do, granted unable to do it, and basically keeping his attention on him rather than everybody else around until the rest of the Lupin Ranger showed up. And then the fact that they strategized, albeit kind of on the fly, and should not have worked in any situation whatsoever in real life. It was well done and well executed.
It shows how good the Lupin Rangers are, both on their own and as a team.
And it also shows how well they are with handling the situation on the fly. Because this literally was at the drop of a hat, they figured out what they needed to do and improvised to be able to do it. It was very well done. And then, yeah, I don't know why he thought he had a brilliant idea that he could defeat both of them when he couldn't defeat one team.
So, the Lupin Rangers have been already at collecting pieces for a year before this series started. And that shows here in their experience when they can come up with plans on the fly like that. Other Sentai where they've already been at it for some time usually still have them starting at 0. It's just really good that this series actually shows that they've had experience.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Keiichiro hears the nurses talking about, the situation going on. Despite the PatoRanger's strategy, they're still injured from the Granio's attack last episode. Before Togeno can kill them, Keiichiro arrives with Goody. He's determined to protect the peace despite all odds. Yeah, it sounds cheesy, but the actor did a really good job when he was looking half dead and all. So he Keisatsu changes and roll calls with the rest. But this roll call was a bit special because although it was the stock footage, the voice act of the actors actually sounded like they were in pain while they were roll calling. It wasn't just the standard strong roll call. They actually sounded like they had injuries. So that was a nice attention to detail. What did you guys think?
Cheesy, yes, but very effective. Again, very good on them. And I love when they actually have attention to detail. I always appreciate that because it gives you something to look for. And hey, makes you pay attention to the rest of the show, so there's that.
In addition to the roll call, the insert song for this fight scene seems to be the second verse of the opening theme, which is more Pat Ranger focused, as opposed to the first verse, which is more Lupin Ranger focused. It was really good hearing it in show. I can't wait to hear the full release of the song when I can.
This was...
Vashi, you sound really distant. And now I can't hear you at all.
Stupid microphone. Is it clearer now or cleaner now?
You sound distant.
Alright, give me a second, I'm gonna try.
Nothing.
Oh, I just can.
Still quiet. You know what?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just keep going. He can tell us his thoughts later. So let's see. They decide to end the fight as you go because obviously they're injured. Just need to end it quickly. Yellow gives them a chance to aim and fire Ichigeki's strike. Togeno is defeated. The Rangers and civilians are cured of the poison. Ichigo does a victory dance. Degranio doesn't care whether or not Gosh revives Togeno. He's just done with him. Gosh decides to anyways. PatoKaiser deploys. The PatoRangers use Crane and Drill to fight as PatoKaiser Strong. We also get that mech theme, which I love. Togeno is defeated. At the preschool, the teacher thanks the police. Sota arrives, and he's got some homemade PatoRanger stuff on now. He thanks the police and rushes over with arms wide open to hug Sakuya, not Keiichiro. Keiichiro doesn't mind. Mission complete. Episode end. Thoughts?
I officially like that kid because he has good taste. I love the mech fight. As much as I am in the Lupin camp, Packers Strong is actually pretty damn cool. And like I said, I'm more of a Sakuya fan than I am a Kei-chan fan, so really the only time I'm okay with Keiichiro, to be honest, is when he's interacting with Kaitou. So take the victories where you find them, I suppose. Good thing about Kei-chan is he still has a good sense of positivity, so I'll give him that. All in all, I had fun.
Umika using the boomerang to like trip up the Ganglar for them was great. Not only did she get to partially use that power up on her own, it's showing like how much faith she has in the PatoRangers. Like she could have gone for the kill herself, but no, she let them have their moment. Possibly inspired by Sakuya. The new form for the mech is actually pretty good. I had my doubts at first, but I like it.
So, welcome to the Toku Portal podcast, where Vashi V fucks something up almost every time. I had an issue with the mic, and it had nothing to do with any software or technology. It was literally, I'm an idiot. I had the microphone tilted up against the top of my head.
No comment.
I've done that before, but still, it's hilarious.
If I'm not flubbing something, I'm forgetting to unmute my mic, or have my mic in a bad position and forget about it. So yay, fantastic. But anyways, back to the previous scene, because that's where it cut out for me at. I'll just run through all of it from there. Seeing Hilltop look out after Keiichiro showed that he knew that this was going to happen, in my opinion. Like, he had no doubts. And he also has the fact that it also shows that he has complete faith that they would win. So that's a nice little addition to his character traits, that he understands his team and what they're capable of, and how far they're willing to push themselves to succeed. Seeing Keiichiro show up with Goody only makes me wonder how he got Goody. I literally envision him running around town chasing after him. Because why the hell not? I mean, obviously, it's more that Goody flew to him or past him or whatever, and he just grabbed him. It didn't seem the PatoRangers decide that, you know what, this is gonna suck injury-wise, and still go ahead with the the U-Ranger transformation was it was nice. It showed their convictions towards success and protecting everyone. And then it was very very nice to see Umika use the scissors part of um, the power up. And again, like I believe it was Rai or King who said it, not sure which, that it showed her faith in the Pat Rangers. Because yeah, she could have easily taken the kill right there. Um, I'm still a little iffy on the mech itself with the new combination, mainly because I hate the name.
Pat Kaiser strong.
Right? It just it rolls off the tongue weird. Like it feels like words are out of place. I mean, it looks good, and I love the fucking finisher, but it's one of those. This is one of those mechs where I feel we've seen this this collection of mechs done way too many times. Beyond that, I mean, it was very well executed, and again, the mech fights in this series are so fucking beautiful compared to what we've been getting here lately. Um, Seeing the kid duck past Keiichiro was funny, and I honestly I didn't expect it considering how heartfelt and everything Keiichiro was with him last episode. But yeah, it was fitting that he went to Sakuya, and kind of funny. And I will give Keiichiro points for character for the fact that he didn't get upset about it. He literally brushed it off as, "That's fine. We did what we were supposed to do."
The kid is happy. And
the kid is happy and has faith in the police.
And you know what? Sakuya gave the kid this inspirational speech that Keiichiro wanted to. It makes sense that he went to him.
Right, and to me that was more. I think that personally was one of the best executed scenes in the show for this episode, personally, because it had that heartfelt, poignancy to it. It was fantastic.
Another thing that I want to talk about: the drilling crane collection piece. When Keiichiro pulls it out and Goody sees it, he doesn't get all excited about it like he did with Scissors and Blade. So it wasn't like a missing piece that was gone beforehand. It was like it disappeared when the rest were stolen. But he does comment, when did it get a trigger? What function did it have beforehand if it wasn't able to be used with the VS changers?
That's probably what Destra's trying to find out, because it probably was just one of those ones without triggers that the Ganglar could use, but something or someone changed it. So that'll be interesting. I'm sure that's not going to get ignored. I mean, we're hinting at it multiple times.
Sorry. Yeah. Good end of the two-parter. It had good moments, good fights. But I am excited for next week because we're getting a monster swap episode, and I love those. So I am definitely looking forward to that. And it's a thief episode! Yay!
I think the comment about the trigger might have been referencing something else.
Well, go on.
Well, because I'm looking at the actual, and because I noticed it the other day when I was looking up the vehicles and stuff. The crane vehicle itself has a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a normal VS vehicle.
Huh.
Um, it literally itself, the vehicle itself has a trigger on its own.
But what does that mean?
I don't know. It could be one of those that it could end up getting used as a weapon, like legit weapon, rather than just an arm and basically a drill. This is where theorizing, I guess, comes into play. Because yeah, beyond that, I don't see the explanation for that particular phrase. Because the vehicles they have don't have triggers, but they can be they're VS vehicles. But that's my thought. For those listening in, I will drop a link to a page with the DX trigger machine for crane and drill into the comments if y'all want to check that out.
Is
Yeah,
I
think
think that's everything.
Alright.
The episode.
well, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We're all really enjoying this series, if you couldn't tell. So we hope you are too. And then Kamen Rider Build is it's probably in its final arc at this point, and that's going really strong too. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. See you next time.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Thanks for listening.
I do. Later, taters.
Thank you all for listening. We'll see you guys either tomorrow or next week. Thank you all for listening.